if that's your plan, I'm telling you that that is what you do in your plan. Do you understand me now?
Yes.
You know why? You can tell me why. You can tell me why. It's not specific. It's not specific. It's not specific. So let me ask the question again. How many people here have a specific plan? Raise your hand. When I say how many people are signed up for the business, most of the class raise their hand. How many of you have you guys? Now we also start going. Where do you go? There we go. I want to go and make money. Not me here. How many people have a specific plan? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Let me see. So the rest don't have a specific plan.
Maybe you have to go about it.
Yeah. You don't know how to go about it.
Yes.
You don't have to know how to go about it. You have a plan. Plan first. You understand? When you're setting a goal, you have to first of all have what you want. Forget about how to get it. The how will show itself when you first of all state to yourself, is what I want to do. Okay? So how many of you have a specific plan? You don't just want to make sales or you do this. How many of you? Okay, I'm going to pick. Sir, what is your specific plan? You can sit down and answer. I understand what you're saying. What's your specific plan?
Specific plan. And we have I have two plans. The first one I really want to do is funding. I'm not make sale, and I want to make sale priority targets.
Sir. Hello. Hi. Okay, looks like I have to learn how to relate it. Okay, tell me your specific plan. Just, my plan is, tell me what it is. Yes. Make sales. You don't have a specific plan. Who else? Raise your hand. Sorry.
My plans this year, my plan is that on land, I want to sell 200 million this year. And for houses, I want to sell 500 million this year. And for masquerade, I want to close the closing sales of 200 million every month. And for recruitment, I want to be recruiting 1,000 people every month.
So that's definite. Doesn't matter the amount. And then somebody say, But you don't have to know how. Okay, but let me ask you. What did you do last year? Was it anything close to this thing you just said? How much sales did you make last year? Total? 20 million. Okay. How much buy to sell?
That is everything, 20 million. And the land I sold the rest.
Okay, what about recruitment?
Recruitment, I did 20.
20 million. Okay. But at least she has a plan. Who else? Sir.
My target this year I want to sell land, both land and back to sell everything 120 million. So based on that, I'm working that every month I want to sell kind of 10 million every month. And I've taken the point that before I was not telling my parishioners. I was,
No. Tell me your plan.
Okay.
You said 120 million and half. What else?
I want 120 million. So I want to be selling land every month, both back to sell and land 10 million every month. So
10 million every month. So 120.
yes,
Okay.
so that is my plan.
To sell or to earn as commission? To sell.
I want to sell also.
Is it to earn commission or to sell?
No, but to sell. Commission will come inside that 120 million.
Okay. Alright. What else?
Then another plan I plan that every month I'll be recruiting 5 people every month. Then to sell land, I want to be selling at least
I need that to
5
put this thing in your body.
God can help me to do.
So for recruitment, for annual, that's 5 times 12, that's how much?
That's 60 a year.
60 years. Classic people.
Yes. I'm looking at another one.
Okay, so the 60 now, what would that make him?
60 will make him.
30 minutes in manager.
Yeah. Sasama, yeah.
No,
But senior, 60 will make him.
okay, probably, no, 30 will make him manager. So, to become a senior manager, you have to have developed even 5 managers. So that's how many? 150. Okay, so the target basically to become a manager this year. Have you been thinking of your goals like this? Are you seeing how to think about your goals? Yes. Do you understand? So it's not just enough to just say, I want to do this. What else makes your mind? Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
To change it. Yes. Okay, go ahead. No, I need a lady to do it now. Change it.
I don't know.
Just change it. It's okay, just change it.
Okay, but it's like this, Abby.
Yeah. Don't press anything. It's on. Just click it. I remove it.
Networking is,
You want to reach 100 million people.
yes, no. Networking is like contribution, like,
Okay, like all your team members,
yes,
their sales.
yes. The networking aspect of it is we involve ourselves financially. Yeah, and then we end, okay, we have various entry levels from 5,000, 25,000, like that, I think. So network is like contribution financially and we earn monthly. It's different.
What kind of okay, a different business.
Yes.
Okay, not P1 business.
It's P1. P1 is the first real estate networking.
No.
Networking
Hello,
aspect
hold
of
on.
it.
For you to set your goal, you must be very clear about what you want. You can't be, do you understand? You can't be vague. Because the science of goal achievement requires you to be definite, specific, targeted, and even detailed as to what exactly. For example, he talked about, I want to recruit 5 people every month. And I asked him, that will make you a manager comfortably in 2025. And then with that 60 people, if you add another 60 on top of it, you become a senior manager. But from what he said, he actually wants to work towards becoming a manager in 2025. Full stop. Do you understand? So your goal or your plan must be definite. You cannot be guessing. You can't say between this and that. And you can't say networking. What does networking mean? When your goal is not clear to you, it's not even network. If your goal is not yet clear to you and you cannot communicate, even if it's clear to you and you can't communicate to somebody else, that means that it is not clear to you. Do you understand? Because I asked you, what does networking mean? You started talking about P1 is a real estate. It's not clear to me, so it's definitely is not clear to you. You can't explain something you have not understood. Am I correct?
Yes.
So if it's not clear to you, that goal is as good as dead on arrival. You can forget it, right? So I'm asking you these questions because I want to know, first of all, where you guys are at and what next I should say. So I'm kind of sampling what you guys have available, okay? So you want to say something?
Yeah.
Do you have a plan? What is your plan?
You know, good morning. I joined the P1 last year as of February when I registered as a bros. And I've been under the ground because I never took the business.
So what's your name? What's your name?
Peter.
Peter, tell us your plan.
The plan is I want to take the business serious.
Is that a plan?
No. Let me talk now. You have not let
No,
me
no,
talk.
Peter, no. We're going to let you talk. You answer the question directly. What is your
The
plan?
plan is to sell lands this year.
That's not a plan. It's not a goal. What is your plan?
To sell land is not a plan.
No, it's not. Is it a plan based on what I explained to you?
No.
Why is it not a plan? So, Mr. Peter, can you tell us what is your plan?
Okay.
Oh, you don't have a plan yet.
Don't have.
You don't have to have yet. You can after the call. You can after the class. You can have a plan later.
I want to sell land. I don't care about recruitment that much. I can be recruiting just 5 people a month, just like Nigeria. But I want to sell land of over 500 people. Now I want to sell to companies. I want to sell to people multinational.
Okay.
I don't want to sell to individuals.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, sir.
Okay, that's
I want
fine.
to sell like a land that okay acquired that they
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
So the calling the amount will be something maybe people will get angry. You know, we African people understand our character. I don't understand. So that was what I.
All right. Thank you so much.
I don't want to sell. I want to say haters.
Okay.
I don't want to say people.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Peter. Thank you so much. Okay, so let me go straight to what I want to share with you because I can already see the level at which most of us are at. Okay. Let me tell you the ingredients of a goal. Daffy, maybe you should help me be doing these slides. There are only about 3 or 4 slides, so it won't be so much. Now, for you to have a goal must have certain things. The truth of the matter is that this class, and I know there are a lot of people in this class, but from what I've gathered, I'm not really talking to everybody. I'm talking to some people that are ready to hear what I want to say. Okay? Your goal must be something you have never done before. I want to tell you the different parts or the anatomy of your goal. This plan, this committed decision. You know what I mean by anatomy? The different parts of the body of your a proper worthy goal must have for it to qualify to be something you should exchange your life for in the whole of 2025. Because when you set a goal, you're telling yourself, I am going to give my time. Your time is your life. I'm going to give my time, my sweat, my energy, my brain, my substance to ensure that this thing at the end of 2025 comes to pass. So you're exchanging your life because you're exchanging your time. And that goal must be worthy of you. It must be worthy of you. So, number one, the goal must be something you have never done before. Even though it's something you've never done before, it should not also be something that is for this particular class. It should not be something that is way off your league. Because I also don't want to set you guys at this level, in this class. I don't want to help you to set yourself up to fail. Because you can inadvertently or unwillingly or unconsciously set yourself up to fail in the year by setting a goal that even you yourself, you know that I just said that thing, but I know that I don't have the discipline, I don't have the habits, I don't have the structure, I have not put myself together, do you understand, in such a way that these billions or millions or whatever can happen for me. So your goal must be worthy of you. It must be something you've never done before, but it also has to be something that you can easily believe. That's why I asked you, I said, what have you done last year? Let me tell you how the mind works, because I'm a mind specialist. I understand human behavior. I've studied extensively for the past 7 years, right? And I understand how it works, because the mind is where your success starts and ends. Did you know that?
Yes.
Who said yes? Who's the person that said that yes? Is it you? Yes. Good. Your mind is where the success starts and ends. So it has to be something that your mind can envision, believe, and be inspired on the inside for. So if you quote a figure or say something that once you hear that figure, your mind automatically closes down, are you going to be inspired to do anything?
No.
If you say I want to do billions and trillions and sell to Dangote, but last year you didn't sell up to 10 million, you can't tell me that you'll be inspired by the 1 billion or whatever. Am I correct? Do you know why you can't be inspired? Because your mind has no idea. Do you understand? Have you ever called a figure before? That's what my great brother said. I don't want to call the amount because you know Africans. But it's not about not calling the amount because you know Africans. It is about you. Can you believe it? Forget about whether we can believe it or not. So what you have set as a target for yourself in 2025, can you honestly tell yourself, you know this thing? Now, there are two sides to it. Number one, it has to be something you believe. But at the same time, it has to be something that you don't exactly know how to go about it, but you have belief in it. Do you understand? So the belief is what will inspire you to take what I call steps of faith towards achieving that thing. So in setting your goal, you're not going to set goals of something you have done in the past. For example, if you have done 10 million, you said you did 20 million, right? Last year. I don't expect you that in 2025, you should set a goal of 20 million. I don't even expect you to set a goal of 50 million. Because if you can do 20 million, you can do 50 million. Did you know that? If you understand the science of the mind, you can actually do 50 million. So what I will advise is for you to do something maybe 3 times or 4 times more than what you did last year. That way, it will inspire you and at the same time scare you. If it just inspires you, 20 million can inspire you, 40 million can inspire you, but it's not scaring you. And therefore, the mind will not try to, because the way the mind works, when you give it a challenge, it will try to figure it out. How many of you have said, I want to buy a red Venza? Then suddenly when you go enter the road, you start seeing red Venza, red Venza, red Venza, red Venza, red Venza. Does it happen to you? Yeah. Anytime you give your mind a command, and it happens without you knowing, automatically the mind will start, you can be sleeping, you can be resting, you can be gisting, it will start, scanning. How? Do you understand? But for you to activate that scanning mode, it has to be something that is inspiring and scary. It can't just be something that is scary but not inspiring. If it's running into billions and trillions, it's scary but it's not inspiring you. You know what it's doing to you? It's closing your mind down. Your mind is already sabotaging you. It's telling you, bros, you can't. Do you understand me? Yes. So your goal, the anatomy is that it has to be specific. It has to be something that is worthy of you. It has to scare you and inspire you at the same time. Now, I asked you for your figures because I wanted to have an idea of where you are at. And at the same time, know what best can work for you. From the feedback I got from most of you, when I asked you, what did you do last year? It's good that you set those figures. But let me tell you how to set a definite goal or a plan or how to make a committed decision. They're all the same thing. Goal setting, plan, make a committed decision. Look at what you did last year. Now, some people don't even know what they did last year. Do you know some people they just know they made sales and they got commission. Am I correct? Some people don't have the discipline to go back to have records of what they did last year, to really, really look at it. Which months did I do higher? Which months did I do lower? Which months did I not do at all? How long was I not doing at all? So that you can see how your mind was working. Do you understand? And based on that, you can now set a goal for 2025. So don't be that kind of person that you did 5 million, 10 million, 2024. Then when I'm asking you now, what do you want to do? You say, I want to do trillions. It's okay, but I'm just telling you that at your level right now, that trillion will come, but maybe it will take you another 10 years. Do you understand? Yes. Because for every goal you set, for it to become a reality, you must work on yourself to, first of all, become that person who achieves that goal before the goal is achieved. If you set a goal of 10 billion, my question to you is that, do you have a 10 billion habits? Do you have 10 billion patterns? Do you think like a 10 billion realtor? Do you close in 10 billions? You say, by God's grace. Of course, it's by God's grace. But if you have the habit patterns, you don't have the behaviors, you don't have the mindset of somebody that closes 10 billion and above, you can set the goal, it's not going to happen. Do you know why? Because you don't have the corresponding, you don't have the structure. Do you understand? You don't have the capacity to sustain it. So instead of working on achieving 10 billion, why not work on becoming a 10 billion realtor? And there's a way to do it. It starts with your habits. For example, should I give you a practical example? Some of you, I asked you a question. What's your plan? You started telling me a story. It's not a habit of a 10 billion. Have you ever been in a room of high flyers before? Have you ever been in a room of people that know what they are doing? Have you ever been there? If you have been in a room of people who are really talking and doing the figures, there's a way they think, there's a way they move, there's a way they talk, there's a way they answer questions, there's a way they stand, there's a way they explain things, right? And the way they do those things, because that's the way they are. So you must first of all become. So when I've asked you a question, and then you're dilly-dallying, and then you're going back and forth, I already know from my training as a peak performance coach that you're not going to achieve that goal. It's not a prophecy of doom. I'm just telling you practically that you will not be able to, because I just asked a simple question, and you have not exhibited the characteristics of somebody that closes in billions. This year, I want to close in billions. I've closed in hundreds and multiple millions before, back to back. But I have not done billions before. But you know what I'm working on myself to do? I'm working on cultivating the habits, the work ethic, the belief system, the mindset of a billionaire closer. Of a billionaire closer. Some of you, I like to be very practical. Now, when I mentor people, when I teach people, I like to tell them the truth so that they can help themselves, right? Most of you, I spoke with you, your figures are good. It's good that you have an idea, right? But for you to be able to do those things, you have to become somebody completely different. My darling sister, you did 20 million last year. Fantastic. Somebody that did 20 million, do you understand? It's not so bad, right? But this year she wants to do 500 million. From 20 million to 500 million. That is a huge quantum leap. Am I correct? Yes. The difference between 20 million and 500 million is a lot. To achieve that, now I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm not saying it's not possible, but for you to achieve that, what's your name, ma? Echo. Taiwo. For Taiwo to achieve that, Taiwo has to transform to a totally different person before she can begin to attract the opportunities, the circumstances, the situations, the openings and opportunities to close at 500 million. So if she doesn't work on becoming a 360, like she's Taiwo now, maybe Taiwo 1.0. So Taiwo 1.0 does 20 million. The Taiwo that does 500 million is probably Taiwo 10.0. So my question is, Taiwo, are you a Taiwo of 10.0 now? If you're not a Taiwo of 10.0, that goal is a wishful thinking. Do you get me now?
Yes.
You're just wishing. And let me tell you, 2025 will come and you're like, I set a goal of 500 million. I only did 25 million. You say, that thing on my top me is not working. No. For every goal that you set, you must become somebody different from who you currently are now. When I say you must become somebody, what do you mean? You ask me, Oma, what do you mean by I must become somebody? For example, how do you see money? What's your perception about money? If you innately believe that money is difficult to find, and therefore you must hoard it. You're not the version of Taiwo that will do 500 million. You say, but I believe money is easy to make. Okay, fine. I believe that you said that you believe it. But let's now go into your habits. And let's even go to something as simple as you're owing somebody money. And you have the money in your account. But just because you know that if I send this person this money now, my account will be showing zero, and I don't want to have zero in my account. So I will post the person. You don't have a healthy relationship with money. And therefore, you're not Taiwo 10.0 that can attract. Do you understand? So what do you need to do? You need to begin to work on yourself. This morning, I was talking to somebody in Spain. We're chatting, and she also sent me 5,000 euro. I sent her my account last week. And somehow I forgot. Can you imagine? I forgot 5,000 euro. You know how much 5,000 euro is? That's about 10 million or something. Right? I forgot it. So this morning, I said, oh my God. I chatted and I said, please, can you give me an update on this? Because we're on the same, she's also on that frequency. She sent it immediately. Said, oh, sorry, I forgot. In 2 minutes, I got the alert. And in my mind, I was like, there is a way performers behave. You can't, do you understand? You will trace them. By their fruit, you will know them. They are that thing first. Then you will now see the manifestation of that thing in their sales, in their money game, in their closing game, in all those games. So my question to you is that if you have a goal for 2025, ask yourself, this goal that I've set, am I the man that does these things? Am I the woman that closes at this level? Am I the woman that recruits 1,000 people? Maybe last year you recruited 5, the whole of last year. But this year you want to do 1,000. Do you know why you could not do 1,000 last year? Because you're not the type that does 1,000. The type that does 1,000 is a certain way. You were able to only do 5 the whole of last year because that is the way you are. So my question is, how are you? Which way are you? How you be safe? What do you think about sales? You know, some people think that sales is very difficult. And you don't blame them. Do you know why? Because they have prospected and they've told them so many no's and so many I'll get back to you that they say this thing is hard. So they have settled in their heart that it is hard. So they may not come and tell you, I think sales is difficult, but because they have experienced so many no's, innately they believe that it's not easy. So you're carrying that energy of it's not easy to go and prospect the next person in 2025. Are you seeing that you're setting yourself up to fail? So the first thing is to clean up the belief system. And how do you do that? Having all these experiences of no's and I'll get back to you. Do you understand? They have a way of, affecting your confidence. Am I correct? It makes you feel like, if I talk to this man again now, I hope you don't come and tell me I will get back to you. One of the things I teach my clients, my paid clients, is I tell them when you want to get on a sales call, if you even want to do affirmations, if you want to do visualization sessions, if you want to do scripting, see yourself as having closed the deal. Be in that high energy. Being in high energy doesn't mean you be shouting. No. You can be calm and be in high energy. So that anything, have you ever been there before? It has happened to me many times. Sometimes you talk so little and the man is like, okay, send me the form, send me the, But some other times you explain to the person, explain how the buy to sell works, explain all the, you be explaining until, even your mind is like, have I not talked enough? After all the explanation, you say, okay, I'll get back to you. 2 months, 3 months, he has not gotten back to you. But some other person, just few words, and he has paid. Does that not tell you that there's a pattern to this thing? So your own goal is to find out what is the pattern. You have to decode that pattern. When you decode the pattern, you will now be able to close, do you understand? Anytime you want. You will no longer be at the mercy. And even if you meet somebody that says no, it won't affect you. Because ultimately and innately, you believe that making sales is easy for you. Personally, I believe that is my own personal belief. So, what's your own belief? And the reason why I arrived at that, I'm a trained lawyer. When chairman is my, Dr. Austin Onwumere is my upline. He's the one that introduced me to the business, right? One of the first things I told him, I said, I'm a lawyer. I don't know how to market anything. He said, don't worry. Your profession will even help you. I said, okay, but how, like, I was ashamed to send somebody flyer and say I'm selling land, because in my mind I was like, I can't do that. But what happened to me was that I started retraining myself. That even though I'm a lawyer, I tell people there's law, there's a business of law. You can speak all the grammar. You can speak all the grammar from here to, money will not come out. Until you understand the business of the law, then money will come. Do you understand? So I now said, you know what? I'm not just a lawyer. Do you understand? I'm a lawyer that understands business. And I started working on myself to become that woman first, because who I was before Chairman met me was a corporate, going to court person, working for multinational, be in their office, wear suit, attend meetings. Do you understand? That was who I was. I wasn't an aggressive marketer. I was not entrepreneurial. Do you understand? I was a salary person. And there's a way salary people behave. Do you understand? There's a mindset, there's a salary person is waiting. Do you understand? But the entrepreneur is constantly innovating. Is constantly thinking. Is constantly, do you understand, mapping out. Is constantly moving. Because he knows that if I don't do anything, nothing is coming at the end of the month. So what made me transform from salary earner that is passive, waiting for the money, to somebody that is going for the money and actually securing the bag, is that I had to become a different Oma. I was still wearing my law something, but I now had to wear the business one on top. And when that happened, the sales, the recruitment, today I'm a Sapphire manager. Wow. I am not a professional in the US. I have a team in Ghana. I have a team in the UK. I have teams outside Lagos State. But I'm not a professional network marketer. If you sit me down and say, oh, come and teach us network marketing, I'm like, what am I going to tell them? So that is why I tell people that your success in this business is 95% mindset first, 5% strategy. So I know you're a trained network marketer, but how market? If you don't have the corresponding mindset for a mover, a high flyer, an achiever, do you understand? A go-getter, somebody, if I want this thing, I am getting it, period. And then you tell yourself, I'm ready to wait for whatever number of years for it to happen. I will stay on this matter. You must yield to me. When you imbibe that kind of mindset, what begins to happen is that opportunities will start showing up by themselves. I have one badass recruiter in Port Harcourt. In fact, Dr. Afam had to speak with her directly a few months ago. Her name is Doris. She's an estate surveyor. I met her online about 6 years ago. She registered with, I think it's 32,000 then. But for those 6 years, she didn't do anything. Then last year, she came back and said, you know what? I've now made up my mind to do the business. I said, okay. She said, I can't even find my link. I can't find it. I said, just do another registration. She did another registration. Do you know, within a month, she became a manager. I'm not in Port Harcourt. I was not even following her up as in go for trainings. Do you understand? But my own thinking, do you understand, helped everything to arrange themselves. If my old members needed to wake up, they started waking up. If people needed to meet me in my DM and respond to my messages, they'll start responding to my messages. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I'm not saying strategy is not important. You have to have your strategy. You can't just be there and say mindset is everything. You sit down on your bed and say, God, let everybody be falling on my lap. No, you must, do you understand? To show that you really believe that thing you say you believe, you must get up and do. Do you understand? But I'm just saying that the belief and the mindset first, and then the doing second.
Because the doing is a confirmation that you actually believe in that thing. So you can't just have the mindset and they say, how many people have you talked to today? 0. You don't believe. Do you understand me now? Yes. So you must have a worthy goal. The goal must scare you and at the same time inspire you. If it just scares you and doesn't inspire you, it's not a worthy goal. If it inspires you but it doesn't scare you, not yet worthy. It must have two of those ingredients. So I'm telling you this thing because I want you guys to go home and set fresh goals. All of you have said amazing things. But what I've just shared with you now, go back home today. Your first assignment is you're going to write it down in present tense. Don't say in 2025, I will. You're postponing it. That will can be in 2030. Because the mind works with now. Have you ever heard that faith is now?
Yes.
The mind does not understand what is past and future. The only thing the mind understands is now. Did you know that? Did you know that about your mind? That your mind relates with everything as now. Has somebody ever offended you, maybe 15 years ago, and you have not forgiven the person? And suddenly, as you're in this class, you remember the person. What happens? All the anger will come out again. Am I not correct? Yes. And you're wondering, but this person offended you 15, 20, 100 years ago. Why are you still remembering it? Because the mind relates with now. All the memories will come back. Do you understand? And the memory comes back. Instead of it to leave you neutral, it will leave you angry. That means in your mind, it's as though the hurt is happening now. Am I correct?
Yes.
So the mind deals with now. That's why the goal must be in what?
No.
Present tense. Not I will. Should we see how I'm sweating in this class? If you come back next year, I told Lolly, I said, Lolly, I don't have slide. Lolly, I said, oh, but just try and bring slide. I said, I don't have slide. I will talk what's in my heart. If any of them come back next year and tell me I'm here to achieve 10 million, I said, I'm not coming again. Can see I'm working very hard now to make people understand. See, I'm sweating. Somebody say chai. I'm sweating right now. And people are not paying me money. So, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Some of the things I'm sharing with you, I did not get them on a platter of gold. Because I also understood that people that really take their life seriously are ready to put anything on the table. Let me tell you one problem. MD Ma, one problem with some PBOs? Some PBOs are not ready to give it all they have. Daffy, some PBOs are not ready. Do you understand? They say they're ready, they're interested in the change, but they're not really committed to the change. This 120 million, sir, that you want to achieve, it's a beautiful goal. You want to do 10 million every month. You know my goal? My own goal is to earn 10 million. My own goal this year is to earn, I didn't say sell, earn 10 million daily. And let me even tell you, in fact, the first time I started ruminating on that goal, November last year, I looked at my figures and I said, but wait, all these monthly something, what happens to daily? And I remembered one scripture, say, give us this year our daily bread. I said, okay, what's my own daily benefit? Do you understand? You see, when you engage your thinking, when you engage your mind, when you become a thinker, most people think shallow, right? Yeah. But if you engage your mind more,
as the mind thinketh, so it is.
Yeah. When everybody here, beautiful people with beautiful faces, all of you have an amazing gift. And so sorry to say, most of you are not even aware that you have that gift. You don't even know how to tap into that gift. You don't even know how to access or harness that gift. And the gift is your mind. Your mind is not your heart that pumps blood, though. Neither is it your brain inside your skull. Your mind is intangible. Did you know that? Did you really know that? Where is your mind? This is my say. I will do what's in my mind. This is not your mind. This is your heart. The heart pumps blood. is a physical organ. The mind is not a physical organ. That's why you can't find it. Where's my mind? My mind. Where's my mind? Mind is activity, is movement, is like spirit, is intangible. But it's an intangible aspect of, like you now, sir. You have a mind. Your mind is actually bigger than your physical body. All that I can see now is your body. But your mind is bigger. You know, some people think that their mind is inside their body. But that's not true. Your body is inside your mind. Have you ever heard that before? You're hearing it for the first time? Okay, let me demonstrate something to help you guys. Okay, imagine I'm holding a basin of water. Can you imagine just a basin of big basin like this? Now I'm carrying it and it's full of water. Then I now, sir, what's your name?
Isaac.
Isaac. Okay, this is Isaac. Isaac. So I now carry Isaac and I throw Isaac inside that big basin of water. That big basin plus the water is Isaac's mind. This bottle inside the big basin is Isaac. So his mind covers everything. But let me not go into that because that is, do you understand? I just want to show you something. I'm trying to tell you that that is an untapped aspect of you that most people don't know how to use. They don't know how to harness it. They don't know how to access it. They don't know what to use it for. In fact, what they use it for is to think of their problems and how that person offended them. You don't know what you people do. How that thing didn't work. How that, I don't like how my face is looking. I don't like these lines, this pimple. I have K leg. That's what you're using your mind to be thinking. I don't have a car yet. Why does that? If you have car, I don't have car. My marriage is suffering. That's what you're using to rehearse in your mind. You're not using your mind to create what you want. You're using it to rehearse what has happened in the past that you don't like. And you do it all the time by default. You don't even know you're doing it. Then every day you're reproducing the same results. And you're wondering, God, am I cursed? Am I a tree? You are your greatest challenge. And I always tell people, to liberate people, you must first of all change their minds. Taiwo, if I can successfully change your mind, if I can work with you for you to successfully 100% change your mind, you will not believe that this guy. You will not, you say, is it not Taiwo? Is it not that guy? See, Taiwo has built house in Banana. How? Taiwo, that I used to sit beside him. That was him, the same person. Same body, same size, but the content's different.
Wow.
The content different. So it is possible to move from where you are now to anywhere you want to, but it will be at a cost. You have to be willing to go all out. All these billions and millions people are talking is good, but you know what it takes? If it was easy to just say million and the million will just appear on the road, do you understand? You will not be here. You'll be already doing it, isn't it? But there is a system to it. And the system to it, most people are unwilling to give what it would take to unlock that system. Why? Because again, they inflict themselves with, I don't have, I cannot, where will I get the money from? I cannot run that ad, how can you be telling me to, you're back again. So in 2025, what are you going to do differently? What are you going to do? I'm talking to some people in this class today. I know I'm talking to, even if it's one person, do you understand? I know that there's somebody that something is, do you understand? See, gathering information is okay. But if you gather information and you're not implementing, it's a waste of time and resources. And I know why people don't implement. They don't know who they are. You allow your age to define you. Me, I'm a grandmother now. How will I? I don't understand. You've not seen grandmothers that are cashing out. Some say, I'm a teenager. I can't What? You've not seen teenagers cashing out? So, I'm a woman. What? Or I'm a man with responsibilities. What are you saying? These are the stories you constantly tell yourself every single day that is keeping you small. So, going back to number one, I want all of you in this class, you're going to set a meaningful goal for yourself. All of you inside this class. This is P1 Sterling. Today is 13th of January. Write the date. You're going to set, and because it's in P1 Sterling, you're hearing me teach this thing. Ensure that your sale starts with P1 Sterling. Right?
Amen.
Go and meet MD and say, I'm closing. What's your estate? How many houses you have? Do you understand? Go and negotiate with her. It's part of the, acting like that person. Tell her, what will you give me if I bring 100 million for you this month? Will you give me a car? Will you send me on a trip? Go and negotiate with her. After you have set the goal. But like I said, make sure it's something that inspires you. Let it be times 4 or 3 of what you did last year. Or even 5. But don't let it be something that your mind is trying to scan. It's not even seeing road to scan. Right? So make it worthy of you. Write it down in the present. And the third thing you're going to do, all this thing I'm saying is still in point number 1. Don't worry, I will soon enter point number 2. After you have written it down in present tense, I want you to get a journal, buy a book, a very nice journal that represents, let's say your goal is 50 million or 100 million, right? Buy a journal that looks like a realtor that closes 100 million in 2025. Don't go and buy, is it 3A exercise book? What do you even call all this? Do you understand? Buy something that represents that future, that you. Do you understand? Get a good quality pen. Don't buy big. One of my mentors, anytime we come for one of his trainings, he'll just be going around. If you buy rubbish biro, you just take the biro and fling. You don't be wondering, how do you fling my biro? You say, what's this? You just fling it. So when people come in for the first time, they're wondering, do people fling biros here? I don't understand. You say, that biro is not, you're talking dollars. Look at what you're writing with. You say, oh. So I'm transferring the same thing to you guys. Get a good journal, get a good biro. If that biro does not give you the vibes of 100 million, the feeling, it's not the right biro. If the journal doesn't give you the feeling, it's not the right one. Buy the one that really looks it. Then you're going to write your goal statement in present tense every single blessed day in 2025. Can you do that? Do you know, before I came this morning, Daphne, when you were calling me this morning, before you called me, I wrote my goal. Do you know I wrote my goal? I wrote it yesterday. I wrote it 1st of January. I wrote it most of last year. I was right. I have books. I have journals. Many of them, especially when I started this business, 7 years ago, I have journals of 7 years ago. And I see my figures, 1 million, Daffy. Obviously, my figures say, 1 million. Then, so inspiring. I say, I've moved from 1 million. Look at what I'm doing now. And anytime I want to go for a bigger goal, and my mind starts telling me, are you sure? I will bring all that journal and say, this is my evidence, I'm sure. Do you understand? This is my evidence that somebody can move from 1 to this amount. So you have evidence. So when you're writing your goal, don't think you're wasting your time buying books upon books. You're gathering what I call evidence. And like I said, you don't have to exactly know how to achieve that goal. Your mind will sort it out. Do you know that anything you focus on will grow? Did you know that? You know that simple principle. Do you know every morning and even every night, you can do also morning and night, depending on how much you really want this. I do morning and night. Do you know that if you keep focusing on this 100 million, 50 million, whatever it is, million, I'm going to make sales, you can even tag the sales to properties. You can say, I'm going to do, everybody, what's your staff, no, sorry? Exquisite, right? I'm going to do, is it building or land?
Land and building.
Okay, how much is the land?
50 million.
50 million. The building is how much? Okay, you can say, I'm going to this month do sales of maybe 200 million. Do you understand? I'm going to do one exquisite building and one exquisite land. You know, that's enough. And every time you're thinking of one exquisite building, one exquisite land, and you write it all the time, every day, and that's what you're focusing on. By the law of the mind, a way will be made known to you. One day you'll be coming out and you're just, in fact, I have so many stories to tell you about how these things work. There's a particular guy, Daffy, I don't know if you know him, his name is Destiny. He's a laundry guy. I recruited him into P1 business, and he said to me, laundry guy like this, I'll come and do P1. Say, all this money is big, big money. So I now told him, don't worry. I remember that, you remember Excel Gardens by P1 Royale? So I'll give him flyers. So anytime he's coming to our estate to pick clothes, I'll give him flyers. So when you get to the road, be sharing the estate, be sharing the flyers. Do you know this guy started sharing flyers? And I'll tell him every day, I say, you're going to make sales in millions. Do you understand? You're going to make sales in millions. Sometimes you believe, sometimes you'll not believe. Then one day he went out, he closed 4 million using a flyer from a total stranger. In fact, when the man said, give me the flyer and asked for his number, because he now gave me the man's number. So I was one that closed for him. Do you understand? But the man already showed interest. I was like, can I have your number? And then he gave the man his number, and took the man's number. So I now helped him with, sending the form. But the man, what? He earned commission of 4 million. Somebody that, what he's used to, 10,000, 15,000. Do you understand? He now said, oh my God, why am I telling you that story? So even though people call those things miracles, but it's really not a miracle. Do you understand? It's an application of principles that brought that about. When people don't understand how things happen, they say it's miracle. Miracle is, people say miracle is anything we cannot explain in human. But how do you explain that? Do you understand? So you have to call it a miracle. But is it a miracle? Not necessarily. A principle was applied, and that principle gave birth to the sales. If you learn the principle, you will give birth to sales. You also will be a miracle worker. Don't you know that the earth, God has given it to man to have dominion? Don't you know that? How do you have dominion without being a miraculous person? So the miracle element is supposed to be your normal thing. So it's really not a miracle. It's you applying all the things that God has put inside of you. You don't exercise dominion timidly. You have to exercise dominion like a man that knows. So, write that goal every day. Because in writing that goal every day, you will start receiving what I call inspired ideas. If you don't write the goal every day, you will not receive inspired ideas. You know why? Because you're not focusing on the goal, you're focusing on every other thing. And if you agree with me that whatever you focus on grows, then apply that principle to this goal I'm asking you to write. Write it every day, even twice a day. Keep writing. Write it the whole of January. If the whole of January comes and goes and you didn't see anything, write it the whole of February. Keep writing it. Because remember, I'm just teaching you this principle. So you're trying to get used to it. So some people, it can happen very fast. Some other people, it might take some time. And people focus differently. Some people are very good at focus, some people don't know how to focus. They easily get distracted. How many of you here, you want to do something, your phone is ringing, you stop that and you answer your phone, something else happens, you never finish anything. When somebody is talking, I have to learn it. When somebody comes and says, please, somebody wants to see you, I'll say, okay, I'll be there shortly. Before, I'll just be going. Do you understand? I'll leave what I'm doing and I'll be going. You begin to learn how to finish what you're doing first, be fully present in that thing you're doing, and then when you finish that one, you go to the next thing. It's a discipline. Many people don't have it. You answer call. They tell you to do 5 things at the same time. All of them shabbily done. You are not present. So focusing, that one is another big topic. It's something people don't even know how to do. So, but I'm trying to help you to learn how to focus by giving you this assignment. Write it every day and focus on it. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
How many people are going to do that? Let me know whether this sweat I'm sweating now is going to work. Okay. Okay, I'm inspired. So do it every day. Buy that nice book and that nice biro. Okay? No, don't go and use congratulations. This one is not allowed, please. Go and spend money. See, you want to do 120 million, spend money and buy that book and biro. That is one of the habits of people that do 120 million. They are not always looking for free things.
I hear you.
Do you understand? Spend money and go and buy it. And buy a quality one. And anyone you're buying, like I told you, if you don't have that feeling, it's not the right one. When you touch the right one, you know. It must elicit that feeling. Because that feeling is very important. I don't have time to tell you about that feeling. But that feeling is something, it's a big topic. But just get the feeling. Right? And I tell you, everything will change. Even the way you walk will be changing. The way you talk will start changing. Because now you're beginning to see yourself. And the more you write that thing, right, one day you just tell yourself, oh, wait, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do this thing. Or sometimes you would have done it and not know that you have crossed the mark. You have to now go back and say, oh my goodness. Then you break down and start crying. Then you now begin to understand what it is you have as a human person. Gifted. Nobody here is broke. I don't care where you're coming from. If you like, you're coming from a hole, I don't care. You're as broke as you've made yourself. And you're as wealthy and rich. Let me tell you, if you've not had any other inspiring story, have you heard the story of the founders of P1? What other evidence do you need? You don't need any other evidence. So do it, okay? So that is that for this committed decision point. Okay? I've also talked about this mindset revamp. I think I've mentioned that. It's not about using willpower. It's not about willpower. Do you understand? It's called conditioning yourself. Willpower is when you're not conditioned to do something, then you start trying to force something. Do you understand? It's like a woman trying to be a man. Do you understand? You're forcing, women are supposed to be a certain way, Do you understand? A man is always, he's always fight. Even on the road, they want to lead. They don't want you to overtake them. But women say, oh yeah, go, right? So willpower is when you are something and you're trying to become somebody else. So you're forcing yourself to make that sales. And that is not mindset revamp. Mindset rehabilitation. That is not the mindset I'm telling you about. That one is willpower. Have you ever tried to lose weight before with willpower? Say, today, I'm going to try and, no, I won't eat, 1 week after, you're back again to a bar. Because willpower doesn't work. Do you understand? Because you're a foodie trying to become a dieter. So it's never going to work. You have to first of all become a dieter. Do you understand? Or somebody who is disciplined with food, then you can now be able to follow a reasonable meal plan that will help you lose weight. Do you see the difference between willpower and mindset? Did you understand the difference? Yes. Willpower is when you're something else and you're trying to become something. So you're working from the outside. And most people do that with sales. They have a damaged self-esteem or damaged perception about sales that they may not even be aware that they have. And they are pursuing the client, wondering, why on earth is he saying no to me? This is the best product in the market. You have to say, oh, what else do you want? They've even given us promo. They've extended this thing. They've extended the promo period. What again do you want? Don't you have the money? Why did you not reach out to me? No, you are using willpower. The man doesn't even know why he's not buying. Especially if he was the one that reached out to you first. Why did you suddenly grow cold feet? Because you're trying to sell being somebody that has a bad idea of sales of money. So it's not going to work. So I'm not talking willpower here. I'm talking about a shift, an internal shift inside. Do you understand? So that you begin to behave differently. The way you see money will change. I used to see something that was very limited. So there's no way somebody will be expected to pay me 5,000 euro and I'll forget. That should be, do you understand? Like, how dare you? But for the fact that I forgot and I had to, like, shows you that I know that she'll pay it. And it's not too much money. So I said, 10 million is not too much money. It's not too much money if you're dealing with hundreds of millions, isn't it? But if you're dealing with 1 naira, it's too much money. So it's perception. Some people have what I call money wounds. Money wound. You need to heal it, have a good relationship with money, understand that money is a servant. Do you know why people lie and cheat? Because money is their master. So that's misplaced priority. But that money is supposed to serve you. You're supposed to send it on errands, buy courses, buy books, go to places that will expand your capacity, mingle with the right people, change your cycle of friends. Start learning how to pay for things, PBOs. Start learning how to pay for things. Learn how to release money powerfully. You know, there's a way to release money powerfully. Do you understand? Learn how to do it like the money is not your master. Until you deliver yourself from that, money will continue to rule over that person. Buy things that will help you. If you need to run ads, don't be mising the money. Go and run the ads. They tell you it will cost you this. Don't say, let me just use my mouth, please. It's too much. Or there's a program being organized anywhere that you think they can help you. You say, I don't have money. You're not ready. I always tell people, you don't need money for anything until you have decided you want that thing. Should I prove it to you? How many of you here, when you were growing up, you wanted a certain shoe or a bag or a watch or something? Maybe when you were a teenager, you were like I remember when we were in university, if you don't have a deck, if you don't have a deck in the hostel, then you're not a cool, you're not in the cool, do you understand? As in you're a very dry person. So I saw, and you cannot ask your parents to give you money for deck. They will remove your head, right? So, but I so wanted something that I started putting money together from the monies they were giving. I was ready to, forgo food and some other things. Do you understand? To put the money together. So what is important to you? What is important to you? If it is important to you, go and do it. Release money. Learn to start releasing money without fear. Without fear. Do you know how many times I've emptied my bank account? It's now a habit. You just empty it. If let the thing be showing 0 points before evening to change, the color will change. But some people are so afraid. They're like, if I release it now, because all their mind is in. But that even if it's 95 million that's in the account, there is a money that's bigger than the 95 million. If it's 9,500, have you heard about 20K? Have you heard about 100K? Have you heard about 2 million? So mindset revamp is not the same thing as willpower. So we're talking about a complete shift. And this shift happens first inside. If I didn't shift from just being a 9-to-5er to becoming entrepreneurial, I would not make sales. Sir, Taiwo, if you don't shift, Isaac. Oh, sorry, Taiwo, sorry. Taiwo and Isaac. Okay, Mr. Isaac, if you don't become a 120 million earner, 10 million monthly, if you don't become that man, you have not shifted. You'll be using willpower and be getting no's, and you don't want to get no's. So your job is to, how do I shift? I came to tell you people today that what you need to make your goals become a reality in 2025 is to make the necessary shift, the necessary internal shift in your mindset. This is what you need. Once you make that necessary shift, every other thing will follow. Okay? And the last point. David, do you want to give us the last point? All these ones are examples, and the last point. Yeah, the last one. Support. You need support. You know why? Who can tell me why you need support? Yes, please.
I need support because nobody knows all.
Okay. Okay, that's good. Who else? Nobody knows all. That's one, but there's something I'm looking for. Yes, please. More experience. Okay, that's also good, but I'm looking for something. You have not hit it very well. I want, yes, please.
Support is to make all of us more focused and successful for the business and system.
Okay, two of you are close, but I'm looking for something. Any other person? Direction, yeah. Okay. Okay, people have an idea. Okay, let me just say, yeah, sorry. Circle.
Forming an alliance with people that,
Surrounding yourself, right? Why do I need to surround myself?
because nobody can live in isolation.
Okay, you're going back to his point. Who will get that point? Why? She has said it. Yes. To move faster.
You need support because you need someone to understand the system very well and have the right information.
Very close. You're very, very close. This is the closest I've gotten. Let me tell you why you desperately need support. Because your mind is going to sabotage you if you start these things I'm asking you to do, like writing your goal every morning and night. I'm telling you that after today, tomorrow you will struggle with it. Am I correct? In your mind now, you think, I'm going to do what Amma told me to do. Sadly, like 99% of you will not buy that book. Yes. You say, no. As I'm going out now, I'm buying the book. Okay, you can buy the book. Will you do the assignment every single day? Yes. Let tomorrow come now. You now get one call. And you have to leave the house very early. I'll ask you, Mr. Isaac, did you do this thing? I left the house very early. So when I come back, I will do it. So you need support. Because that will keep you focused. Yeah. You see it now. With that support, those times that you don't want to write it, somebody will tell you, do it, you need to do it, because I'm not always going to be here. Right now, as you're hearing, you're inspired, right? But when I finish now, and all of you start, the inspiration will start coming down, until you go back home and eat everybody. The whole thing will just come back to mama. Do you understand? You forget that you're supposed to write. Even some people will forget, say, oh, okay, I've forgotten. Oh, let me start again. Or I didn't even buy the book. So that's why you need support. You need support. There's a saying that the 5 closest people you have around you influence your results. Yes. Who are your friends? Who are those you spend most of your day with? Who are you always chatting with, talking with? If you're mingling with your mate, you have your mate's results. Go and be mingling with people that are bigger than you. But before you're able to break into their cycle, you have to first of all present like them so you can look like them. I'm not just talking about physically. Do you understand? Because when you open your mouth and talk, I already know where you are. Yes. Do you understand? When you open your mouth and talk, there's some people, most people say things like, oh, wealthy people are very snobbish. They don't like, they like to segregate. They like to always do VIP section and general section. It's not because they want to tell people that you're not VIP and you're general. It's because there's a way the VIP people behave. Do you understand? And when you come around them, like they are crying for help, like, please save me from this person that is talking about her problems. Do you understand? They want to run away from you. And in your mind, you're like, I'm telling you my problems and you want to run away from me. What did I do? Am I the one that created myself? And it's like, I need to hear more inspiring things. Right? So they want to run away. If you go to the airport, they'll tell you pay 10,000 naira to be on the VIP lounge. If you're going for first business class, right? And you're saying, is it not the same business class I will pass when I'm going to economy? But when the plane takes off, they will close the curtain. There's a way they think. Settle that in your mind. Tell yourself that, you know what, since there's a way they think, I am going to start thinking like them. So I'll remove myself from this general to the main group. Instead of complaining that they are snobbish. I know as I'm saying this, some people are even angry with me. Why are you segregating? It's not segregation. It's what's happening. The truth is that nobody should be in general class, really. If you look at it, everybody's a VIP. But your mind will not allow you to enter fully into your VIP status. Because that thing will drag you back. You will either say one thing by mistake, they'll just decode and say, this one doesn't belong. Go out. The way you do will sell you out. That's why you must become first before you do. Okay? So, buy programs. I had to personally buy Barrister Omar. Like, I don't know, people have their own different methods. Let me tell you my own method. So when I joined P1, that has a bit of this story. I invested in a multi-8-figure mentor in dollars. This my multi-8-figure mentor, he earns in dollars. I think I did, right? I had to, because in my mind I was like, I have to be successful. I have to be successful. And then I started asking myself, what must I do? I looked at everybody, they were doing general things. I said, this one, general thing. I said, no, there has to be more. There has to, something inside of me was telling me there has to be more. You know, when you begin to focus on something, the way will start being, will be shown to you. And when I met my mentor, to work with them for 1 full year, I've not seen that money in my life before. But I listened to everything they told me and I said, but this is what I want. Have you ever been there? You're talking to somebody and you're like, this is what I want, but I can't afford it. Have you ever been there? If you have ever been there, I want to tell you this morning that you can afford it. Coming from me, who was at ground zero and was later able to afford those things. Not when I now had the money, but when I changed inside, then the money started coming. That's why I told you that you don't need anything until you decide you need that thing. Don't go and be doing free courses. Free course cannot deliver these millions to you. It won't, because it's free. Do you understand? Because if you're trying to call in, have I lost some people in this class because I'm talking money now? Are you still with me? Yes. If you're trying to call in hundreds of millions, you have to present as somebody who is at home with hundreds of millions, right? Yes. Now, I'm not saying you should go and spend hundreds of millions to do course, right? But if you get the right one that can help you and support you, pay for it. If you get the right one. Not all of them are right. Some of them are overpriced, right? But if you get the right one that will challenge you to become a better version of you, I encourage you to go for it at the beginning of this year. Go for it. And make sure that whoever you're going for has demonstrated by results that he or she knows what he's talking about. Don't go to noisemakers. Go to people that are really doing the thing. Don't go to somebody that has read book and come and be showing you the book, because you can always buy the book and read it. Do you understand? Go to somebody that is doing it. So that's what I mean by support. And you find that when you're in that kind of support system, it will be easy for you not to be, it will not be easy for you to be distracted. Do you understand? You will keep your foot on the fire, on the gas, right? Day in, day out. month in, month out. That's what I did. I'm telling you my own secret. I don't know, maybe other people have their own style, but this is my own style, right? And I'm sharing my own experience. So that person is with you day in, day out, and your feet is on the gas. And I tell you, before you know it, I remember when I started working with them, if you remember that time, P1 Plus. In fact, you guys, that's why I say, if Barrister Mass face does not show on the WhatsApp this thing, we have not started. So as the year is starting, say Barrister Mass face, Daffy already knows now. Say they don't celebrate again because her face will come out next week. Do you understand? And I was not wondering, but I'm the same lawyer that said I can't sell. What am I now doing back to back? Because somebody was supporting me, helping me to focus on what I said I wanted to do. So that's what I have for you today. These are the three most important things. Number one, you have to set a definite goal. Number two, you must revamp the way you think. It's identity shift. Number three, you must get support. If you do only number one, set your goal, but you don't shift. Now, that shift, there's a science to it too. That internal shift, you don't just wake up and say, Lord, in the name of Jesus, I shift now. It doesn't happen that way. Do you understand? There are certain things you do to shift, and it takes time to shift. Because who you are today, it took you all these many years. If you're 30 now, you're being a certain way for 30 years. Now your personality is formed. The way you see money and all these things are a certain way. So you can't just change that identity by just saying, Father, in the name of Jesus, I shift. That is the beginning. You can say that, but that's just for the beginning. After you said that, then you now start doing the things you need to do to shift. But one thing I know will make you start shifting is when you're writing that goal twice a day, unfailingly. You will even start seeing, you start feeling in a certain way. You start feeling in a certain way. And then finally, support. You need support because all the things I said to you will not mean anything if you're not consistently on it. It's not something you just do today and then tomorrow you forget. And for that, you need somebody that can hold you accountable and work with you, do you understand, to stay on course. So I have finished my session.
Wow.
PBOs. PBOs. You guys don't know what you have just taken from. Our ambassador here, let me bust above a little bit. 2021,
Yes.
I was a PBO, months into the business, and I saw a flyer that she was going to speak somewhere. I think that was P1 Legend. That was the first time I went to P1 Legend. And I dropped my kids off at school, and I went and sat down on her training. By the time we're done, I usually don't talk. I just stood up. I think I went and I met her. And like, how do you guys even close these sales? And she encouraged me, spoke to me. I was like, okay, that's fine. I went out and I saw the car. I think that time you got a Benza or something.
I think it was a Lexus.
It was a Lexus, I think. I looked at the car outside. I just told myself, Lynda, you need to walk. Because you see, when you get this kind of information, if you don't do it, you will not get any results. You won't. Excuse is not an option. Excuse is not what?
An option.
An option. When you come for training and you hear these things, go and practicalize it. It works like magic.
Very true.
A lot of us will not stay and start kabashing looking for sale. No. Go and, what you have heard, go and do what? Go and do it. And I looked at it, I touched her car, I said, I'll be the next. That was 2021, 2021, yeah, 2021. 2021. That same year, 2020, before the end of 2021, I got my first car. What am I even saying? That 2021, I got pickers. And I started sitting down and lecturing like her.
Yeah, I remember.
All the people that would go and sit in their classes, I was invited to sit with them and mentor others.
Yeah, I remember.
That's what happens when you listen to your coaches and you do what they say. I might be a managing director. I had to come down to listen to her. Please put your hands again. For us to bring Bryce Dalma here, please, let's stand up and clap. People don't understand these things. Eh? Clap for her. Appreciate her for me. Appreciate her for me.
Thank you.
When you see women, thank you so much. We have
Thank you.
When you-
Thank you so much.
Like I would always say, when you start the business and you hear people, you see their the testimonies, do not go and sleep. There's no excuse. No matter where you're starting from, you can make it. You can.
No, don't worry.
Sometimes I tell people, I tell most of us do not have the leisure of time that a lot of you have in your hands. Of course, I joined the business, I already had 3 kids. No maid, no nanny till today, right? And I was still, the little time that I had, I was still making impact and making sales. When did I join? My first registration was what? November of 2020. My time is almost 7 years or thereabout. Before I even came. She had attended almost all my classes. Yet what? Sometimes they'll call and tell you they're looking for money to buy data. They have the money. They don't want to spend it. I say if I buy data now and I call the person, what if the person does not pick? What if they don't buy? I've just wasted my data. Then they'll start looking for people that will give them the money to buy the data. So if they, so I don't waste my own money. I've heard all sorts from PBOs. They'll say, so I don't waste my own money. Let somebody else give me the money. So in case I don't close the deal, Abi, I don't have anything to lose. Why will you close the deal? Nothing. You can never close the deal. You can't. But someone said you want to be like VIPs. Be like the VIPs. It's a mindset. Tell yourself you will not be like every other PBO. As a PBO then, when they invite me for trainings, what's it called, allocations and all that, they come to my house to give me t-shirts. An invitation card for me to come.
Okay.
You have to tell yourself, this is how I want to do the business. This is what I want to be known for. These are the kind of results that I want to make. So when you go and you sit down and you hear them calling high flyers, of course, Mr. Omar's name was always there. There is no incentive or whatever that he wants to do that you don't hear Barrister Omar. Guess what? When I joined her, when she saw me, she knew, this woman did not come here to come and play.
Yeah.
Because it was now like that, because we were always on the stage. From the day I made up my mind, I said, I'm going to do this business. There's an incentive, there's something to be won. My name must be there. So they're calling Barrister Omar. If he was here, Loli, I do. You must hear it. Do it. It's in the doing. The result you get is in the doing. I called somebody one day and said, let's go for training. Then when I was a PB, and she told me they have fasting and prayer in the church.
3.
Another I called her, she said she just came back from 9 vigil. She was very tired. And I told her I would never call you again. 2 months later, she's calling me and sending me her problems. And I told her, I said, because I've told you about the opportunity, I will not give you a dime. In fact, this year I've told myself, you're a PBO, we have shared all the opportunities that we can share to you. We have told you what to do. You don't do it. Don't bring your problem to me. I'm not Jesus. Because Because it's the same thing that we're saying do that we're also doing.
Yes.
Do you get what I'm saying? So why should I work and give to you to eat? Why? It's in the doing. This is 2025. Tell yourself, I'm going to do what Barrister Omar said I should do. Say it now. I'm saying Barrister Omar because me, I've talked and talked the whole of last year. So let's apply a new one. Don't do what I said. Please do. I'm telling you when I encountered her in 2021, and I know how far I went that same year, right? Our business is copy and paste. It's not too hard. Is it not copy and paste we're doing?
Very.
It's copy and paste. There is no two ways about it. Our first land we sold ever in this world, as far as this world is concerned, all the years we have lived on earth, we learned it here. In P1. It's the truth. Everything I know about properties, I learned it as a PBO, sitting down like this. Everything I know about professional sales, I learned it like this, for free. We're not going to pay. There was a time where I was being taken from one state to the other. I think I know all the states in Nigeria because of P1. They will take me from this state to this state to this state. And I was talking and doing all the stuff. Right? Who will pay you anything? Barrister Omar?
Yes, please.
I think whatever paid you for, nobody's going to pay you. Then what they do, they'll just send me my flight ticket and book my whatever for me. And I appear there. You come back. If what you have in your account, that's what you're going to have in your account. Nobody's going to say, for following the group to go and train, this is what. We're building capacity where. And most times we take advantage of all those states too, because you go there, you recruit too. You recruit. You talk to people. You talk to people. Because we got it for free, we also give it out for free. That's why nobody charges for trainings and mentorship and all that. No, we don't. Because we all got it, we all received it for free. So please, this is the beginning of the year. This is the first month. Is it not true? Yes. Tell yourself this month, before the end of first quarter, they would hear about me. Say it to yourself.
Before the end of first quarter,
They'll hear about you. Whatever it is, whatever it is that you think people know about you, they should see a difference. You can't be in P1. You have done 1 year, you have done 6 months, you have done 2 years. You're still the same way. Tell yourself you're going to change this year. You're going to change this year. Package yourself. Package yourself. What have you been doing before? Change it. If it's not working for you, change it. Change it. Tell yourself I'm going to do different this year. I would make my billions this year.
make my billions.
When we started, I tell you, what's your target? We're not thinking millions, so we're saying very high figures. The how is not. Let me say it first, then I begin to work towards it. After I've said it, then I'll go back and say, okay, so how do I achieve it? That's the next thing. One estate at a time. That was my own. One estate at a time. And you can hear when Barrister was talking about it too. She said, after you had fixed your target, look at it and say, what do I need to sell? You want to make 200? Oh, I'm going to sell. Something million. I did not